What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're going to go ahead and cover what I had to do for my K1 filter because the original divider that was in the tank was disintegrating.
Remember those days, those L's, I couldn't sleep right now. I get paid, vacay, I'm staying B-side. Breaking the blues over steak, I gotta eat right. You could be my peace sign.
Alright, so I've been having a lot of issues with my K1 filter because of that little divider. First off, the divider wasn't perfectly lined up, or it would move or something, and fish would always slip through the cracks and end up in the K1 side. And as you can see, it's very problematic because if they're in the K1 side, they're going to get scratched up from the K1 media flying around everywhere, and they'll never find food. It'll be hard for them to get out, and it's just not a good look. So I went ahead and searched YouTube for more ideas throughout the week, and then I came across one of Joey's old videos where he had, it was like the two big tanks. One side was Stingrays, the other side was arowanas, and then in his sump he had a little container with K1, and then on the outside of that was like discus and stuff. So the first thing I did was I went ahead and found a 5-gallon bucket, drilled a whole bunch of holes into it. I didn't drill into the top area or the whole bottom panel of the bucket, and this is because I do plan on adding some substrate into this aquarium, so this is the reason why I didn't drill the bottom of the bucket. I don't want any kind of like substrate or whatever to go into the filter power head and mess it up. And then the reason why I didn't drill the top is because I have a lot of floating plants. If I plan on adding things like duckweed for the goldfish, I don't want it to get sucked into the K1 and get blown around, and I just don't want anything clogging in the power head that's inside the bucket. So after I took the divider out, I carefully got the bucket and scooped it under the pump and the outlet pipe thing from my Bacterial tank, and it worked pretty well. The only bad thing is I had to take out about, I think, a third of the K1 that I originally had in the divider area. So I had a significant drop in the biomedia of this whole system, and unfortunately I had a bacterial bloom. When something happens to your beneficial bacteria, like it's in your filter, if you clean your canister filter or your sponge filter too hard and you impact your beneficial bacteria drastically, a bacterial bloom may happen, and that's when your water gets super cloudy, and the best thing to do is to just do a water change. As long as you have beneficial bacteria that's left over, or you didn't take out like a crazy amount of like filter media and stuff, you should be fine. What you don't want to happen is something like a mini cycle where you start to see like traces of ammonia and stuff. So after you do something like this, test your water, make sure you're all good, and if you're not seeing ammonia or nitrite and stuff, you should be fine. So that's the plan for today. We're gonna go ahead and head back to the house right now and do a big water change, and hopefully things will start to clear up. So we're finishing up the water change right now, and the water's looking a little bit better. It's still a little cloudy just because we removed so much of the biomedia, which is right here. You can see this tray is, I would say, half full, maybe a little bit more than half full. You know, after taking out all this K1 though, look how much K1 is left. Man, that's a lot of K1 right there, man. I'm still gonna keep this extra K1 around because I never know, I might make like a pond or something. I might need to get more K1 or use this K1 for the goldfish tank or maybe even the DAT tank. So who knows? I also ordered an extra sponge filter that I'm gonna add to the 40B just to give it a little bit more mechanical filtration. Because I don't have that divider anymore, I can do things like add extra sponges. I don't have to worry about adding it in and it's messing up the flow of the K1 and stuff. Now, because I have all the K1 in chamber, just like how I had it back in the day, but instead of in another bucket, I have it in a tank, I can add more things into the sump without disturbing the K1. And also when it comes to more things, it allows my plants to have more surface room to like grow and stuff. So all the water lettuce, and I even added in duckweed because even though it is known as the herpes of the aquarium world or whatever, it's really good at sucking up nitrates. On top of that, taking out the divider gave my plants more room to grow. As you can see, my subwater tank really took over that left side. So taking that out, it'll allow it to grow even further. Since all of the equipment is inside the bucket, I'm not too worried about crazy suction of like plants and stuff getting stuck in the bucket or on the pump, because everything's already in the bucket and there's not going to be crazy suction to go in. There is some flow coming out of that bucket and into the tank because the outlet flow tube thing has a little angler, like a 90-degree angle, and it's pointed towards the edge of the bucket, so it's just making a big spiral, and as it's spiraling, it's gonna hit all those holes. It's gonna flow out anyways. So the water in the 40B is gonna get filtered, and the water in the Bashir tank is going to get filtered as well. So it's going to be no problem. Me adding in that sponge filter is just extra mechanical filtration that I've always wanted for this system. So I'm going to go ahead and finish up the goldfish tank water change right now. We're going to go ahead and come back tomorrow because that's when the sponge filter actually arrives. So we'll come back tomorrow, install the sponge filter, and double check the Bashir tank to see if everything is good to go. Everything should be clear by tomorrow, and that little bacterial bloom should have been taken care of with this big water change that I just finished. So yeah, let's go ahead and wait until tomorrow then. Alright guys, so it's the next day and we went ahead and got our sponge filters in. Check it out. Now, right here. Oh, focus on this. There you go. And then right here, let's go ahead and put these together and put them into the sump. Good thing about these two is they don't need a lot of air to run, so I'm just gonna tap it into the central air system and have these guys going. Alright guys, so we got the sponge filters going right there. Right here. Air is pumping through the K1, looking pretty good. And yeah man, all we gotta do is wait for these guys to seed and we should be alright. Tank's looking clear though. As you can see, cleared up nicely. So no more algae bloom and everyone's doing just fine. It's a little stressful for these guys, but they'll bounce back. As you can see, they're looking pretty good back there. They're just kind of like, why are you back here 3 days in a row? Just messing with them. So that's enough pointing the camera at these guys. And yeah man, this new filter should be way more efficient when it comes to tumbling the K1 and with more mechanical filtration added right here. All right, so that's pretty much it for this video right here. We had a little bit of a scare when it came down to the algae bloom, but we got everything under control, and now we actually have more mechanical filtration, so the tank should be a lot more clear. Stay tuned for updates because I'm actually preparing my tank right now for a new fish. My friend's dropping one off right now. Wait till the next video to hear about it, but it's a fish that I've been wanting to keep again. I've had it before in the past, and I just love this type of fish so much that I wanted to add it back into my group right here. And it's the most fitting fish for this tank, and it just so happens that the divider that was in this sump was just disintegrating at the point of no return. So yeah man, we just went ahead and went with this bucket filter. Ended up working out best for the fish that's going to be in this tank. And stay tuned for the next video because that's when I'm going to be revealing the new fish. So hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I thank you guys for watching. Stay tuned for the next one, and peace guys.